Hello there, my name is James Ponak and I want to welcome you to my channel, Deeper with God. If you like this video, please press like, and if you want to join a community of people growing deeper with God, please consider subscribing. Have you ever heard the saying, "Oh, don't worry about it, it's water under the bridge"? Well, the idea is, as you can see, there's a bridge behind me and this is a river. And water is moving behind me towards the mountains. The idea is that the water that was once under the bridge is no longer under the bridge. It's moved on. And the idea is in life that you may have had trouble with somebody, you may have had a bad moment in your life, but it's water under the bridge. It's no longer on me, it has moved on. It's no longer in me, it's moved on. Well, I think that's true of some situations. It's water under the bridge. You know, in a moment you can be frustrated, you can be angry, you can even be hurt, and some of those things are not very deep and they move on, or you move on, however you look at it. Well, I don't think that's true of everything, and you know, I've really noticed in our world today that there's a lot of angry people, and I'm talking about Christians and non-Christians alike. I was talking to a friend last night and it got me thinking about this question, which I had thought about before, but today I thought I got to do a video. I've got to do a video on this and we got to talk about it. Here's the question. What are you doing with your pain? What are you doing with your pain? We would love to think that all our pain is like water under the bridge and we just move on. But I think we get wounded by the way people treat us, by the moments in our life that really hurt us. I have a scar on my finger. I don't know if you can see it. There we go. But anyways, I have a scar on my finger. It's a skin graft. And in the moment that this accident happened at work when I was 19 years of age, it really hurt. It really hurt. And I'll tell you what hurt even more was the healing of it. Because the doctor had to take a skin graft from my arm to my finger. This is what you call a scar, and it has a story. There was a healing process that took place, and it was difficult, and I had to go to physiotherapy, and I had to work through the pain, and I had to overcome the injury, and I have overcome the injury, and so now I show you a scar, not a wound. There are people in the church, outside of the church, who have scars. And with those scars, they have stories and testimonies of how they got through it and how they're better people for it and how they learned and how they grew in wisdom. And for Christians, we realize that when God walks us through pain, He allows us to know something more about Him that we wouldn't have known without that pain. For instance, you can know a doctor because he lives beside you, okay? He lives in the house next to you. But the moment you go to the hospital and that doctor shows up at the emergency room and he helps you in one of the most difficult moments of your life, all of a sudden you have an appreciation for that doctor that you never could have had watching him mow his lawn and saying hi to him. When you walk through painful moments with the Lord, you get an appreciation for how loving and kind and gentle and merciful and gracious He is. However, this is what I see happening. Many people are not walking with the Lord in their pain. They're walking away from the Lord. Or they're walking with bitterness. So the Lord is over there, they're here, and yes, the Lord is faithful and He's walking with them, but there is no intimate relationship. Why? Because there's a wound and they're protecting it. How do we protect wounds? Well, in lots of ways, but one of the ways we protect wounds, just one of the ways, is through anger. We get angry and we become bitter. Anger protects a wound. If your family member hurts you, you can be angry at them and say, "I am never coming to your house again," or "I'm never calling you again," or "I'm just never trusting you again." You may have a right to be angry, and your pain is valid. However, this is not healing the relationship. When that anger becomes bitterness, that bitterness, if we do not go to the Lord with it and give it to Him, it's kind of like a wound that you don't deal with. If I had said to my coworker who tried to help me when I was wounded at work, "Oh, don't worry about it, it'll just heal up," what would my finger look like today? Would I even be able to use this finger? I'm not sure I would. I'm not sure I'd be able to play guitar. I would have missed out on so many joys in my life because music is such a joy to me and playing guitar is such a joy to me. And I will dare say this without any pride, my guitar playing has been a joy to others. So what would have been missed in my life if I had not dealt with this wound in a proper way? So I want to ask you, what are you doing with your pain? What are you doing with your hurts, your anger, your offenses? Have you given them to God? Because they're going to take you places where you never planned on going, places where you don't want to go, and maybe you've discovered that already in your life, that you're not who you used to be. Jesus said, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." And you know, it's a burden to carry around offenses. It's a burden to carry around bitterness and pain. I want to encourage you today to give your pain to the Lord and let Him heal you. You know, it doesn't change what people have done. And sometimes we got to just let God deal with those people. And other times we got to ask God to help us deal with those people because they're still in our lives. We don't have to live wounded. We can live with a scar that is attached to a testimony of how God brought us through and how He healed us and how we now have joy and we no longer feel the pain of the wound. We just enjoy telling the story.